Hi everyone, welcome to One Stop Mathematical Solution. Today we are going to solve CSIR Net Mathematics December 2012 question paper. In this video we have only dealt with the abstract algebra part. First question, question 29. Let V be a three-dimensional vector space over the field F3 is equal to Z by 3Z of 3 elements. The number of distinct one-dimensional subspace of V is. So we are given a field F3 here and V is a three-dimensional vector space over F3. Then we have to find how many one-dimensional subspace are there for V. So we will look into the concepts used. Suppose F is a finite field with k elements and V is the n-dimensional vector space over F. Then the number of distinct one-dimensional subspaces of V is given by the formula k per n minus 1 divided by k minus 1. So now we'll move on to the question. So in the question they are given F3 is a field of 3 elements. So k is equal to 3 and V is a three-dimensional vector space over F3. So n is equal to 3. So just substitute in the formula. So we will get number of distinct one-dimensional subspace of V is equal to 3 cube minus 1 divided by 3 minus 1. So when we simplify this we are getting the value 13. So we will check the correct option. So the correct option is first one. Next question, question 36. In a group of 265 persons, 200 like singing, 110 like dancing and 55 like painting. If 60 persons like both singing and dancing, 30 like both singing and painting and 10 like all the three activities, then the number of persons who like dancing and painting is. So in this set we have to find how many persons like both dancing and painting. So we look at the concepts used. So n of A union B union C is equal to n of A plus n of B plus n of C minus n of A intersection B minus n of A intersection C minus n of B intersection C plus n of A intersection B intersection C. So now we'll move on to the question. So I'm taking A to be the person who likes singing and B to the person who is like dancing. C is the person who like painting. So n of A union B union C is the total number of persons. So that is given to be 265. N of A is a person who likes singing, that is equal to 200. N of B is equal to 110. N of C is equal to 55. N of A intersection B means number of persons who like both singing and dancing and that is equal to 60. N of A intersection C means number of persons who like singing and painting, so that is equal to 30. N of B intersection C means number of persons who like both dancing and painting, that is not given in the question, that is the one we have to find out. And N of A intersection B intersection C means the persons who like all the three activities, that is equal to 10. So once we have all these values, just substitute in this, so we'll get like this. So what we need is the value of n of B intersection C. So I'm taking this to this side and 265 to other side. So we'll get like this. So once we simplify and solve it, we are getting the value 20. So now we'll check the correct option. So the correct option is 2. Next question, question 37. The last two digits of 7 power 81 is. So we'll look into the concept. The first column power of 7, the second column last two digit. If the number given is a multiple of 7, then the last two digit is 07. If the number given is multiple of 7 power 2, then the last two digit is 49. If the number given is a multiple of 7 cube, then the last two digit is 43. If the number given is a multiple of 7 power 4, the last two digit is 01. So now we'll move on to the question. So they have asked the last two digit of 7 power 81. So 7 power 81 can be written as 7 power 80 plus 1. So I'm splitting them. So I'll get this is equal to 7 power 80 into 7. And 80 is a multiple of 4. So I am writing this as this is equal to 7 power 4k into 7. We know if a number is a multiple of 7 power 4, its last two digit is 01. So replace this number by 01. And if the number is a multiple of 7, the last 2 digit is 07. So replace 7 by 07. So now you just multiply these two number and write the last 2 digit. So that is equal to 07. So the last 2 digit of 7 power 81 is 07. So now we'll check the correct option. So the correct option is first one. Next question, question 38. In which of the following fields the polynomial x cube minus 312x plus 123 is irreducible in capital F of x? So we have to find in which of the options this polynomial become irreducible. So we'll move on to the concepts. F is a field. F of x is an irreducible polynomial in capital F of x if f of x doesn't have a root over f. Second one, Einstein's criteria. F of x equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus etc. up to a n x power n. If there exists a prime p such that p divides ai for I is equal to 1 to etc. up to n minus 1, but p doesn't divide an, the coefficient of highest power of x, and p square does not divide the constant term a0, then f of x is irreducible over q. So now we'll move on to the question. So they have given a polynomial. I am taking it as f of x is equal to x cube minus 312x plus 123. So over f3 means we are taking the coefficients of each term mod 3. So f of x equal to 1 mod 3 means it's gonna be 1. So we'll get x cube term minus 312 mod 3 means is gonna be 0 because it is a multiple of 3. Similarly, this is gonna be a 0 term over mod 3 because this is a multiple of 3. So therefore f of x equal to x cube over f3. And for 0 we are getting f of 0 is equal to 0. So 0 is the root of f of x over f3. Therefore f of x is reducible in f3. Similarly, you can check for the field f7 and f30. Now I am checking for the rational field. So I am using Einstein criteria. So I have given this polynomial here. I can find the prime 3 which divides the coefficient of x and the constant term but doesn't divide the coefficient of highest power of x, and 3 square doesn't divide the constant term. Therefore f of x is irreducible over q by Einstein's criteria. So now we'll check the correct options. So the correct option is 4th one. Next question, question 84. For a positive integer m, let phi of m denote the set of integers k such that 1 less than or equal to k less than or equal to m and GCD of km is equal to 1. Then which of the following are necessarily true? So we are given here Euler-Thomson function. We have to find which of the options are necessarily true. So now we look into the concepts used. For a prime p, phi of p is equal to p minus 1. Zn star is a cyclic group, essentially the multiplicative group, and it contains phi of n elements. That is, order of Zn star is equal to phi of n. And Lagrange's theorem holds for cyclic group. That is, order of an element divides the order of its group. If GCD of mn is equal to 1, then phi of mn can be split is equal to phi of m into phi of n. For a prime p, phi of p power k is equal to p power k minus p power k minus 1. So now we'll move on to the question, and now we'll see the options one by one. So first one is phi of n divides n for every positive integer n. So we'll check that. So if I take n to be a prime number, positive prime number, so I am denoting it as p, then phi of p is equal to p minus 1, and we know the divisor of p is only 1 and p, so p minus 1 doesn't divide p, that is phi of p doesn't divide p. So this doesn't hold for every positive integer. So now next option, n divides phi of a power n minus 1 for all positive integers a and n. So we'll check this statement. So I'm taking let m is equal to a power n minus 1. So from this I'll get a power n is equal to 1 plus m. So I'm taking mod m. So I'll get an is equal to 1 mod m. And an is equal to 1 mod m implies a belongs to Zm star, because under mod m we are getting a power n is equal to the identity element. So a belongs to Zm star. And by Lagrange's theorem we'll get order of a divides order of Zm star, that is n divides phi of m. And we have taken m to be a power n minus 1. So we'll get n divides phi of an minus 1. So this option holds. Next option, third, n divides phi of a n minus 1 for all positive integers a and n such that GCD of a comma n is equal to 1. So in the second option we already proved that n divides phi of a n minus 1 for all positive integers a and n. So if we restrict the condition with this condition, it's gonna be satisfying. So third option is also true. Now fourth option, a divides phi of an minus 1 for all positive integers a and n such that GCD of a comma n is equal to 1. So if I take a to be 5 and n equal to 2, we'll get phi of an minus 1 is equal to phi of 5 square minus 1, that is equal to phi of 24. And 24 can be written as 2 cube into 3, and GCD of 2 cube and 3 is 1. Therefore we can split them. So this is equal to phi of 2 cube into phi of 3. For phi of 2 cube I am using this formula to find its value. So we'll get this is equal to 2 cube minus 2 square. 3 is prime number, so phi of 3 is gonna be 2. So multiply and simplify, so we'll get this is gonna be 8. And a we have taken to be 5, and 5 doesn't divide 8. That is a doesn't divide phi of a minus 1 for all positive integers a and n such that GCD of a n equal to 1. So this option is also wrong. So the correct options are 2 and 3. Next question, question 87. Consider the ring R is equal to Z of square root of minus 5, which is the set of a plus b into root of minus 5, such that AB element of Z and the element alpha is equal to 3 plus square root of minus 5 of R. Then, so we are given a ring here R and an element alpha is given. Then we have to find which of the following option is true. So we'll look in the concepts used. R is a commutative ring with unity. P in R is a prime element if P is non-zero and not a unit. Then for every AB in R, if P divides AB, then either P divides A or P divides B. Second, R is a commutative ring with unity. P in R is irreducible element if P is non-zero and not an unit. Then for every AB in R, P is equal to AB implies one of them, A or B, is unit. Third concept, R is an integral domain. Then R is UFD if A in R is a non-zero non-unit element in R such that A is equal to P1 into P2 etc. up to Pn, where Pi's are irreducible. Also A is equal to Q1 into Q2 into etc. up to Qn, where Qi's are irreducible. Then M should be equal to N and Pi should be associated to some Qj. A is associated to B means A divides B or B divides A. Fifth one, commutative ring with unity and without zero divisor is an integral domain. Ring with zero divisor means A into B equal to 0 should imply A equal to 0 or B equal to 0. So now we'll move on to the question. So given alpha is equal to 3 plus square root of minus 5. We have 3 plus square root of minus 5 divides 14, and 14 can be written as 2 into 7. But 3 plus square root of minus 5 doesn't divide 2, and 3 plus square root of minus 5 doesn't divide 7, which is violating the definitions of prime element. So alpha is not a prime element. So second, I am showing whether alpha is irreducible or not. So let 3 plus square root of minus 5 is equal to a plus b square root of minus 5 into c plus d square root of minus 5. If I show either of a plus b square root of minus 5 or c plus d square root of minus 5 is unit, then this alpha is gonna be irreducible. So now I am taking norm on both sides. So we'll get 14 is equal to a square plus 5b square into c square plus 5d square. We know 14 can be written as 2 into 7 or 14 into 1. Suppose if I take 14 as 2 into 7, we'll get a square plus 5b square into c square plus 5d square is equal to 2 into 7. And now if I take a square plus 5b square is equal to 2, it is not going to be having a solution because a and b is an element of integer z. And a square plus 5b square equal to 7 also doesn't have no solution. So now a square plus 5b square into c square plus 5d square has to be equal to 14 into 1. So that is either a square plus 5b square equal to 1 or c square plus 5d square is equal to 1. That is either a plus b into square root of minus 5 is equal to plus or minus 1, or c plus d into square root of minus 5 is equal to plus or minus 1. That is, one of them is gonna be unit. Therefore alpha is a irreducible element. So now we'll check the next options. So we know 14 can be written as 3 plus square root of minus 5 into 3 minus square root of minus 5. Also 14 can be written as 2 into 7. So here we are getting m is equal to n. That is, we have two numbers here for both the notations. So I am checking whether PIs are associate of any QJs using the definitions of UFD. So if you note that Pi is not associate of any QJ because 3 plus square root of minus 5 doesn't divide 2, and 3 minus square root of minus 5 doesn't divide 7, or 3 minus square root of minus 5 doesn't divide 2, and 3 plus square root of minus 5 doesn't divide 7. Therefore it is not satisfying the conditions of UFD. Therefore the ring Z of square root of minus 5 is not UFD. So now we'll check the last option. So let a plus b square root of minus 5 into c plus d square root of minus 5 is equal to 0. Now I am taking norm on both sides. So we'll get a square plus 5b square into c square plus 5d square equal to 0. So this implies either a square plus 5b square equal to 0 or c square plus 5d square equal to 0. So this implies either a equal to b equal to 0 or c equal to d equal to 0. That is, z square root of minus 5 has no zero divisor. That is, z square root of minus 5 is an integral domain. So now we'll check the correct options. So the correct options are 2 and 3. Next question, question 88. Consider the polynomial f of x equal to x power 4 minus x cube plus 14x square plus 5x plus 16. Also for a prime number p, let fp denote the field with p elements. Which of the following are always true? So we are given a polynomial here. We have to check which of the options are correct. So now we'll move on to the concepts. F is a field. F of x is an irreducible polynomial in capital F of x if f of x doesn't have a root over f. So in the option they have asked over f3, f7 and z. So now we'll move on to the question. So given f of x equal to x power 4 minus x cube plus 14x square plus 5x plus 16. So in f3 means we are taking the coefficients, all the coefficients mod 3. So 1 mod 3 is 1, minus 1 mod 3 is 2, 14 mod 3 is 2, 5 mod 3 is 2, 16 mod 3 is 1. So in F3, f of x becomes x power 4 plus 2x cube plus 2x square plus 2x plus 1. So now I am rearranging the terms so that we'll get x power 4 plus 2x square plus 1 plus 2x cube plus 2x. If you see the first three terms, this is the expansion of x square plus 1 the whole square. So we can replace this by x square plus 1 whole square, and the last two terms I am taking 2x common. So we'll get plus 2x into x square plus 1. From both the terms I am taking x square plus 1 common. So this is equal to x square plus 1 into x square plus 1 plus 2x. So this is the expansion of x plus 1 whole square. So that can be replaced. So this is equal to x square plus 1 into x plus 1 whole square. So first option is like asking whether in F3 it has no roots or not. So we'll check that. So F3 can be approximated like Z3, and Z3 contain elements 0, 1, 2. So for each element we'll check whether we are getting a non-zero number or a zero number. So f of 0 is equal to 1, f of 1 is equal to 8, 8 mod 3 is 2, f of 2 is equal to 45, 45 mod 3 is 0. So we are getting 2 as a root of f of x in F3. So option 1 is wrong. Second option is asking whether f in F3 is the product of two irreducible factors of degree 2 over F3. So we will check that. So we have written f of x as product of two factors. First one is obviously an irreducible factor. We will check for the second one whether they are irreducible or not. So I am taking let g of x equal to x plus 1 whole square. To check whether it is irreducible or not, put the element 0, 1, 2. If you get for any element g to be 0, then that becomes a root, and therefore g of x is a reducible factor. So we will check that. So g of 0 is equal to 1, g of 1 is equal to 4, and 4 mod 3 is 1. G of 2 is equal to 9, 9 mod 3 is 0. So 2 is the root of g of x in F3. So x plus 1 whole square is not an irreducible factor of f of x in F cube. So the option 2 is also wrong. So now we'll check for F7. In F7, f of x equal to x power 4 minus x cube plus 14x square plus 5x plus 16 mod 7. Take each coefficient mod 7. So that is equal to x power 4 plus 6x cube plus 5x plus 2. So if we look here, we can't do any splitting or any rearranging. So I am replacing 6 by minus 1 and 5 by minus 2. So that is easier to split the terms. So this is equal to x power 4 minus x cube minus 2x plus 2. So from first two terms I am taking x cube common, and last two terms I am taking minus 2 common. So we'll get this is equal to x cube into x minus 1 minus 2 into x minus 1. So from both the terms I am taking x minus 1 common. So this is equal to x minus 1 into x cube minus 2. So wait. So third is asking whether f has an irreducible factor of degree 3 over F7. We got a factor of degree 3. We'll check whether it is irreducible or not. So put the elements of Z7 and check whether everywhere we are getting non-zero or not. So let g of x equal to x cube minus 2. So we are getting g of 0 is equal to minus 2, and minus 2 mod 7 is 5. G of 1 is equal to minus 1, and minus 1 mod 7 is 6. So if we check like this, for all elements we are getting g of x to be non-zero. Therefore there is no root for g of x in F7. Therefore x cube minus 2 is an irreducible factor, essentially of degree 3 of f of x in F7. So now we'll check the options. So the option is correct, third option is correct, and over Z this polynomial is irreducible and it cannot be factorized. So option 4 is wrong. Next question, question 89. For a positive integer m, let am denote the number of distinct prime ideals of the ring Q of x by x power m minus 1. Then so we have to find for m equal to 4 and 5 how many distinct prime ideals are there for this ring. So we'll look at the concepts used. f of x is reducible over f if and only if ideal generated by f of x is maximal ideal over f of x. f of x by ideal generated by f of x is integral domain if and only if ideal generated by f of x is maximal ideal. If f of x by ideal generated by f of x is integral domain, then ideal generated by f of x is prime ideal. So now we'll move on to the question. So A4 denote the number of distinct prime ideals of the ring Q of x by x power 4 minus 1. So we have to find how many prime ideals are generated by this polynomial x power 4 minus 1. So now we see that x power 4 minus 1 can be split as x square plus 1 into x square minus 1, because this is of the form a square minus b square, and again this is of the form a square minus b square. Again this can be split, so this is equal to x square plus 1 into x plus 1 into x minus 1. So we will get x square plus 1, x plus 1, x minus 1 are irreducible polynomials. So the ideal generated by x square plus 1, ideal generated by x plus 1, ideal generated by x minus 1 are maximal ideals by concept 1. So therefore q of x by ideal generated by x square plus 1, q of x by ideal generated by x plus 1, q of x by ideal generated by x by minus 1 are integral domain by concept 2. Therefore ideal generated by x square plus 1, ideal generated by x plus 1, ideal generated by x minus 1 are the prime ideals. So A4 is the number of distinct prime ideals of this ring. So we got 3 distinct prime ideals, therefore A4 is equal to 3. And A5 denote the number of distinct prime ideals of the ring Q of x by x power 5 minus 1. Similar hypothesis, first of all we are writing x power 5 minus 1 as the product of irreducible factors. So this can be written as x minus 1 into x power 4 plus x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. So these two are irreducible factors and they are irreducible polynomial, therefore the ideal generated by them are maximal ideals. So the rings are integral domain. So integral domain means the ideal generated by them are prime ideals. Therefore we got for A5 we got 2 distinct prime ideals. So A5 is equal to 2. So now we'll check the correct options. So the correct options are 2 and 3.